Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I would like to present on the topic regulatory framework and legal challenges in digitalization of Islamic finance. I'm Associate Prof. Dr. Nur Ada Abdul Hamid, co-authors with Ahmad Yani Ismail and Tuan Nur Hafiza Raja Abdul Aziz from Kolej Universiti Islam Antarabangsa Selangor quiz. This is for the second Kuala Lumpur International Multidisciplinary Conference on Social Sciences and Engineering 2021. Table of contents, abstract, objective and methodology, literature reviews, analysis, discussion, and also the conclusion. On the abstract, this article analyzes regulatory and legal challenges that may subsist in Malaysia's Islamic finance digitalization move. The country's finance industry regulators have been proactive in digitalizing the dual finance industry. The regulators have announced relevant frameworks since 2016 to support and also to spur the digitalization development. On the objective and methodology, objective is to analyze the regulatory and legal challenges that may subsist in Malaysia's Islamic finance digitalization move. And despite initiative taken in the industry, the authors argued the issues require comprehensive attention by the regulatory authorities. This research employs a qualitative method using a library research approach by analyzing past researches conducted on the topic. On the literature reviews, according to Islamic Finance Development Report 2019, Islamic banking and finance (IBF) industry continues to grow from 3 consecutive years, registering USD 2.44 trillion in total worth in 2019 and representing an 11.4% increase from USD 2.19 trillion in 2018. The digitalization era resulting from the fourth industrial revolution, fourth IR, has also changed the landscape's IBF industry. Relevant global governments and authorities have commenced digitalization initiatives to expand the respective IBF industry further. As one of the global leading Islamic finance markets, Malaysia is aware of the need to make the most digitalization initiative opportunities. In terms of readiness, Malaysia ranked 31st out of 139 countries in the world by the World Economic Forum's Network Readiness Index, according to IMF 2020. The index measures a country's usage of information and communication technologies and to provide an impetus for the growth and development of fintech companies in Malaysia. The Malaysia Digital Economic Corporation (MDEC) launched the Fintech Booster in August 2020. This Fintech Booster program is a collaboration between MDEC and the Central Bank of Malaysia to assist Malaysia-based fintech companies in developing innovative products and services by extending their understanding of legal, compliance and regulatory requirements. Malaysia's Islamic banking players are also committed to exploiting the Central Bank of Malaysia's digital transformation move. According to Tech Barista 2017, Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad has announced its digital transformation with collaboration with Cognizant to implement initial works of transformation in its banking platform. And according to NST 2018, RHB Islamic Bank Berhad in 2018 reported developing an e-commerce financing platform to cater to the need of digital entrepreneurs. And according to STAR 2020, the bank is also committed to set up a new division to offer digital banking products in 2021. Okay, digitalization of Islamic banking. According to Abdul Razak Muhammad Dali Abdul Manaf 2019, digitalization of Islamic finance refers to the digitalization of all the standard Islamic finance products and services previously offered at the bank's building. According to Abdul Razak et al., also in 2019, it means the regular banking products and services are digitized and accessible online without customers going to any banking branches. The use of such technologies to digitize Islamic banking offerings business process is also termed as fintech and Islamic fintech in Islamic finance, according to Global Islamic Finance Report 2017. And starting with the introduction of credit cards, auto teller machines, electronic stock trading, and internet banking, the birth of the fourth industrial revolution has further accelerated the use of such technologies in the financial industry. Introduction of blockchain technology. At the 2019 World Blockchain Summit in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, Datuk Muhammad Daud Bakar boldly stated that the only way for Islamic finance to be in the same playing field with the conventional finance is via fintech or blockchain. Now we come to the analysis and discussion. According to Sharia Advisory Council 2020, compliance with Sharia is the bedrock of Islamic finance. It means all Islamic finance business activities, practices, products, and services must meet the requirements set by the Sharia, according to Central Bank of Malaysia 2010. The requirements are documented in Sharia standards and operational requirements produced by Sharia Advisory Council and announced by the Central Bank of Malaysia. And to ensure that all Islamic banks adhere to the Sharia requirements in all of the business activities and practices, the Central Bank of Malaysia has issued Sharia Governance Framework in 2010. The landscape of digitalization, the application of technologies in the finance industry, including Islamic finance, can be generally categorized into payments, clearing and settlement, deposits, lending, financing and capital raising, insurance and takaful, investment management, and market support. This is the landscape of digital market. As we can see here, first is on the financing, including the funding societies, fantastic pitching. Second is Islamic, for example, the robo-advisory, micro-investment and sustainable financing. The third one is on investment and insurance, for example, Go Insurance, Policy Street, Stock Pick and Stage Away. And the fourth one is on the e-marketplace, for example, Lazada, Shopee, Amazon, Alibaba Group, and so on. The legal challenges for digitalization of banks, we can put under three heading here. The first one is to embed Sharia requirements. Second is on the fraud and cyber security. And the third one is on the personal data protection. So how to embed the Sharia requirements into the digital bank process, and is our readiness for the Sharia contract. For the fraud and cybersecurity, the risk of fraud in using the digital banking through the falsification of information and the possible manipulation of information stored in the digital database and electronic funds. And the third one is on the personal data protection, whereby the potential conflict of faith and intellectual property of information captured involving the third-party relationship, technology and software services providers, and also related items regarding digital banking such as electronic signature, digital and electronic money, and customer privacy. Okay, what is the terms of Shariazing? Shariazing is the digital bank process, and our readiness for a Sharia contract are always debated by the industry players. This includes whether smart contracts meet the requirements of Sharia. A digital signature, another feature of digitalization, has not been included in the SGP. According to Muhammad Ambula and et al. 2019, proposed digital signature in online transaction as an authentication mechanism. And according to Johan Dalisuke and Hafid 2017, digital signatures comply with an essential element of ijab and qabul for transacting parties. According to Heiko Andres and Juan 2008, the emergence of Islamic banking within the conventional banking system has been a great source of worry for scholars, policymakers and regulators. The primary concern has to do with embedding Sharia-compliant Islamic banking activities into the existing conventional financial system, juridical and supervisory framework. Therefore, to address this issue, they adopted what was referred to as a two-tier perspective, for example, on the legal aspect of Islamic contracts and the regulatory aspect of Islamic financial transaction. According to Abdul 2015, the supervisory framework can be achieved by the regulators and supervisors prompt and pragmatic actions by taking the following steps. Number one is drafting harmonized legislation and regulation for Islamic financial system. Second, ensuring proper and adequate supervision to improve compliance and control system. Third, providing reliable Islamic financial market infrastructure. And fourth, building customers' confidence in Islamic financial system. Okay, this is among the enabling legal framework on the Malaysian experience, the law and regulators, the contracts, the settlement, and also other issues. Okay, here is the legal framework enabling laws, the main regulators, the Islamic legal system, whether it is secular or hybrid, the civil law, common law, and Islamic, and also the international standard. We have to give the recognition of all the Islamic financial transactions, and we have to accommodate the application of Sharia principles. We have to adopt the international standard, the Islamic Financial Services Board, IFSB, the accounting international standard, and also the International Islamic Financial Market standard, and we have to have the full-fledged Islamic windows and Sharia governance requirements. For the legal framework on the enforceability, how to enforce the laws and regulations, and how to enforce the jurisdiction. Whether we have here the conflict of law, the Sharia authority, and also the expert. So here we have to decide all Sharia issues and disputes in regards to Islamic finance. We have to align between the national law and Sharia principle whenever it is needed, and the expert need to ensure we have to ensure the efficient and sufficient legal and judicial expertise in disputes and related Islamic banking and finance issues. For the legal framework on the dispute resolution mechanism, Islamic financial disputes, what are the platforms for settlement and the multi-tier dispute resolution settlement? We have the court, qualified judges, competent pool of judges, dedicated high court judges to adjudicate Islamic finance cases, presidents for Islamic finance cases, and we have arbitration center to give the awards and the enforcement. We have to have the special rules, the speed, and also the confidentiality. We have also the mediation and suluh process, whereby the alternative dispute resolution mechanism, a part of court system. We have to have clear scope of jurisdiction, fast and low cost dispute settlement for the complainants to raise their case in the alternative dispute resolution mechanism. And we have also to have the Sharia authority and the special rules for the dispute, effective authority and technical infrastructures to instill the public confidence. Okay, as a conclusion, in order to understand the whole things of this topic, the whole things of this today's discussion, we have to understand the fundamental, whereby Sharia as the backbone of Islamic finance and to adhere to the Sharia principle. We have also to acknowledge the challenge, whereby to identify prerequisite for sustainable system, the human capital, the infrastructure, the capacity, and also the capability. And finally, we have to appreciate the uniqueness and recognize the environment, to recognize the unique structure and distinctive risks associated with Islamic finance, and to understand the local international industry, customized regulatory and supervisory approach to nature of Islamic financial transactions. Since Islamic banking develops tremendously and contributes to the current economy, Sharia governance needs special attention not only to meet the needs and interests of people's life, even to cultivate the well-being of the Ummah. Incorporating digitalization elements requires sufficient knowledge of the applied technologies by Sharia scholars, and the knowledge is vital for the Sharia scholars to upgrade the existing Sharia governance policy and determine the Sharia compliance of Islamic banks' operation and activities concerning fintech. In addition to reviewing Sharia governance policy and the Sharia standards and operational, decision makers and policymakers must improve existing policies, standards, and regulations by embedding the Sharia requirements to get fraud and cybersecurity environment and personal data protection issues minimized and well protected. In case of legal issues brought to the relevant courts, the jurisdiction process remedial must also be investigated. So the efforts will help protect individuals from any biased contracts or agreements and create a more efficient and conducive environment for e-commerce and online transactions. Okay, with that, I thank you everyone for all attention. Assalamualaikum. Thank you.